Hey everybody, my name's Garrett Fuller, I'm with MMORPG. I'm very lucky to be sitting with the Hearthstone guys here at Blizzcon, and the reason I'm lucky is because I can't put the game down for the last 2 weeks. Thanks, by the way. My wife is really mad. My kid's playing, as we were talking before the camera, and it's just kind of overwhelmed the last few weeks. Hearthstone is epic fun. And so I want you guys to introduce yourselves, talk about what you do with the project, and then we'll talk about how closed beta has gone, what you guys are working on for the future. So we'll start.
Yeah, I'm Ben Brode, one of the game designers on Hearthstone.
And I'm Yong, I'm the producer of Hearthstone.
Awesome. So you guys had a couple of quick announcements yesterday that were kind of a big deal. The priest nerf and a couple of little things, a couple of tweaks had to be made. My starving buzzard is no longer 2-2. How tough is it to balance this game? I mean, it's really taking off fast, and people have figured out. It's fun, kind of the strategy people are figuring out. But what's that like for you guys to work with?
Balancing the game is interesting because we get a lot of feedback from the community and hear a lot of things about how emotionally it feels to play against things like mind control.
Sure.
But also we track every game that's played and we can see basically how every game has gone and what cards are causing wins and which cards are causing losses. And so we can really dive really deep into those statistics and figure out, hey, the hunter at this level is winning 10% more than every class. So
Sure.
What card is causing that to happen? How do we bring that into line a little bit better with the other classes?
Yeah.
So we use kind of a combination of this really in-depth data that we get from our business intelligence team, and we use also the feedback we get from the forums and other Blizzard employees who are very passionate about the game.
Right.
Telling us, hey, I really don't like this card, or I really like this card a lot.
Right. So cool. I mean, it's got to be tough too. Now, from a production standpoint, right, with your role, you're kind of going, now you're closed beta, you guys just announced the open beta coming up soon, which is awesome, everybody finally gets in. And what's it like for you guys in terms of you put a balance in, but now you've got to actually get it into the game and get it out there. Is that something that you and the teams work on together?
Yes, totally. I mean, so Hearthstone is a really small team. If you kind of subtract out the additional team members we got for the mobile effort, there's only about 15 of us. So we obviously have our specific core competency that we focus on, but we all get to be really involved in all aspects of making the game. So even in balance, in some traditional team structure, maybe that only the designers are looking at that and other people are doing other things. In Team 5, from the Hearthstone team, we really all get to be involved and all really talk to Brode and have that discussion, etc. And that's amazing. But in terms of your question on how all of that gets packaged up, we together as a team and with the leads, we kind of put together kind of a vision for what's really important for the game right now and for the next milestone or for the next patch, and then we prioritize based on what we think is really important for that, and then and that a lot of things go into that bucket. It could be bug fixes, it could be new features like the new ranked mode, it could be these card balances that we want to put in, and then we prioritize based on that and package them all together.
Awesome. I think that's good. It keeps it easy. So the fun part of the interview now is what's your favorite cards? Before I get into another couple of questions, what's your favorite card? When you're creating a game, you look at it and go, this card is going to be so much fun when it hits that board. And the game does an amazing effect of drawing the card and putting it into play. So what's your personal favorite out of all of them? That's a tough question, I know.
It's not tough for me. I know exactly what my favorite is. And it's, I think it's your kid's favorite too. Mine is Jiraxis.
Jiraxis. See Connor? Jiraxis, buddy.
I love it. And when we were actually testing the game, we were testing a couple of different heroes. And one of the heroes in the game was, we were looking for an Alliance Gnome Warlock. And the only one that we could think of was Wilfred Fizzlebane from the Trial of the Champion. And he's only in the game for 30 seconds, and he gets destroyed by Jiraxis, which he accidentally summons. And so the guy who was testing the game was like, Wilfred Fizzlebane, is there a Jiraxis card in this deck? And there wasn't at the time, and I was like, there should be a Jiraxis card. Then you should totally destroy your hero and take over. And so we did that. And we weren't sure how to do it at the time, but when we came up with the idea for Jiraxis, we made it happen, and then the artists went crazy on the effects for when you play
so
him.
Much fun.
It's such a fun little story all in itself. This kind of replaying of this moment from World of Warcraft.
No, it's great. I love that you can play a Warlock deck and be at 2. And just sit there and go, oh yeah, watch this. And it's hysterical. It's hysterical. In terms of, what about you? What's your favorite card?
my favorite card, it's a little personal actually. At one point, we're a small team, we're trying to do everything really scrappy, so at one point we really wanted to get the feel of what the voiceover would be like in the game, but we didn't yet want to, we haven't yet gotten all the voice actors and everything, so we got the team members to voice a lot of the cards in the game, just to kind of get it in there and see how it feels, and I have a soft spot for the cards I voiced. So Pandaren Brewmaster is one of the cards I voiced, and I also really kind of like the bouncing effect and a lot of combos you can pull off of that. So that's got to be my favorite card.
See, that's cool. See, a personal thing. That's always important. I know, that's great. So moving forward, there's a lot of talk about the utility of the neutral cards, and this is a problem in any game you play. You suddenly funnel into which cards you know are going to be effective. Which cards? When I play a hunter deck, I only play beasts. I won't even bother with another minion. So what's it like for you guys working with the neutral cards to go, hey, we got to add some more utility to our class decks, the paladin and stuff?
Sure. It's tricky because if we do make a neutral card too strong, you can see it in every deck.
Yeah.
And if we make a class card too strong, you still only see it 1 in every 9 class decks you went into. So we definitely try and make those class cards slightly stronger. And the way we try and build neutral cards is that they're really good in certain situations. So a card like the Injured Blade Master, he's good, but he's really good in a priest deck, or any deck that has some healing, or even the warrior deck, because he starts out damaged and you can hit him with a rampage right away.
Right.
And those are the kinds of things that we want to make these neutral cards that aren't always the best choice. Sometimes, in this deck you'd rather have this specific class card, and that's kind of the right place for neutral cards to be. Sometimes they're the right choice for your deck, and sometimes they aren't.
Right. Cool. Now, in terms of the classes, and this is where another part of it. Every class has such a cool utility. I love the warrior building up your armor. I love the priest healing and stuff like that. I found a lot of fun. I was talking about it with PR. Who's behind the camera? But we were talking about the paladin deck, and that was a deck I wouldn't have touched. And then my son's like, "Oh, I made a paladin deck that," and I looked at it and I started playing with it. It went like 5-0 one night, and I was like cheering. I'm like, "Yes! How did I figure this out?" So, what's it like? Like, do you see with the class decks? Do you see some of them underused, overused? I know the rogue is kind of very tricky gameplay to the rogue and getting your poisons and your weapons and attacking and stuff. What's it like balancing those things? The class decks out.
It's something that we look about. You're talking about just the general.
Yes. I use the paladin as an example, but it's a general overall kind of.
Yeah, well, people definitely try all the classes. We have these daily quests in the game that reward you for trying a class maybe you haven't tried before. And so people are playing with a lot of the different classes. But we also notice that there's kind of flavors that change every week or month as players discover a new deck type.
Yeah.
And they're trying that a lot. And this week, Hunter might be huge, and then next week actually someone discovers a really cool Shaman build and starts playing a lot of Shaman. And so it actually changes a lot, but people play a lot of the different classes all the time.
Cool. Now, you picked some epic heroes. I love orcs, so you could put more orcs in. I could care less what anybody says. Too bad. But that's one of the things is you got Gul'dan, you got Garrosh, you got Thrall, you got Rexxar. Kinda. So are there plans for more heroes that could be kind of put into the game? You don't have to say what they are, obviously, but
it's an idea. You mean in terms of like same class represented by different?
Yes, same class represented by different hero.
We're really intrigued by that idea. We don't have immediate plans for it, but that's something I'm personally super excited about.
Yeah, cool. Now, as far as everything else goes, in terms of the tournaments, and you guys have the invitation, Mike and I both wanted to be in the tournament. He's diamond level. He's good, man. We were like, yeah, we can get into that. But, how are you seeing in terms of the tournament play? You obviously see this becoming bigger and bigger with tournaments.
Well, when we first started working on Hearthstone, we knew we could make a really fun game, but we had no idea where this could go for esports. And we started to get kind of some inkling when someone would be playing the game, and then the team would kind of slowly kind of migrate behind their computer and watch them play. And we'd all be cheering, and we're like, wow, this game is actually, I think this might be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then when we went live with the beta and went crazy on Twitch and people started streaming it, it was really exciting to watch those streams. We're seeing a lot of action in that area. We're still only in beta, which is crazy to see all this stuff going on. But we're paying a lot of attention, and we're going to do, as it's continuing, we're going to look into what we can do to help support this type of stuff going forward.
Right. No, I think it's great. My last question, obviously, and we'll end on this note, is what's some of your favorite? We talked about your favorite cards, but what's some of your favorite gameplay experience that you have with the game? I mean, obviously developing. We were at PAX East when Rob announced it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great to see it. Everybody gets crazy about a Blizzard announcement, and then as we're watching it, I'm like, that's going to be insanely fun. Like that is going to really be dangerous. And now with the mobile, forget it. That's it. Work's done. But in terms of what you guys have experienced with the game personally, what's some of your favorite gameplay moments you've gone through?
I'll mention that when we make cards for Hearthstone, we really try and make cards that enable player stories. We really want cards that when you play them, something crazy could happen, and we don't know when we make the card what that's going to be necessarily. But sometimes we make a card that has hooks in it, things like Lore Walker Cho or Millhouse Manastorm. These cards that something crazy could happen. Maybe I play Lore Walker Cho and my opponent plays Shadow form, and now I have a warrior in Shadow form. Like that's crazy! It's so fun. And so whenever that kind of thing happens, whenever somebody posts a story on Reddit or our forums that is some crazy new interaction that I never thought of, I love that. That's one of my favorite things about the game.
That's awesome.
So, Brode would be the first person to say this, but he's a much better player than I.
I would be the first person.
But actually, I
was the second person to say this.
I actually joined the Hearthstone team much later than did, and I said first joined the game. I joined the team, and I got set up, and I was just trying to get to know me better. And Ben approached me, was like, "Hey, we should play this game. You should play the game you're working on. You should play me." So I was like, "Oh, this guy's really friendly. I'll get into a game." And we started playing, and I started getting into the game already. It's my third day. And I knew how to play, but I was having a good time, and I don't know what happened, but I guess I got really lucky and ended up winning. I was like, oh, that was really fun. I had a great time. And Ben walks over to me to my desk, and he looks at me. He's like, and I'm like, oh, good game, dude. I had a really fun time. Thanks for playing a game with me. And he's like, do you realize this is really embarrassing for me? This is your third day in the team, and we're playing again. But I just think it's a testament to how you can get into the game, really quickly, learn the mechanics, and have a really great time and be competitive and just have fun really quickly.
Yeah, no, your tutorial experience was really good. I'm horrible because I took off to do stuff and I came back and my son had unlocked all the heroes for me. I'm like, what does that say about me?
Can we? I don't want to meet your son.
I'll bring it next time.
He makes you trim stacks, he unlocks all your classes. He's good. He did, he unlocked all the classes and I was like, oh cool, I kind of want to play the shaman now. And try that.
It took over from him, it's horrible. But guys, listen, thanks so much. We really have a ball. We're having a ball with the game. I mean, I think everybody in MMO is playing it. Our beta key giveaway, thanks Lindsay, was insane.
Oh, great.
They all took off. So we're having a great time. Keep it up. That's all I can
say.
Keep up the good work. So,
Yeah,
cool.
thank you.
All right.